when it comes down to finding, like, looking at the what if suggestions that you get, like in the comments or from fans in your community posts or even on Twitter or anything like that, what is your process for picking a what if out of that you're like, okay, this could be a good video? What is your process for choosing what ifs suggested by fans that will be made into videos?
Um, I guess I just kind of look at the idea and then I just kind of I don't like think it all the way through. I just take a look at it and I'm like, okay, this is either a good idea or a bad idea based on like how the story is gonna go. Because I try to keep things mostly realistic, so I don't usually like make huge changes. If it can make a good story that I think could actually happen, then I'll go for it. But if not, then it's most likely not. Or I may just do it like as like a wacky what if, but I barely do those. So that's basically just my process.
Gotcha.
I'll do basically anything.
All right, I gotcha. Well, welcome to StevDeScussions, everybody. Joining me today is the person that first gave me a voice acting role in his series What If Tarble Was Sent to Earth. Part 1 and Part 2 are currently out over on his channel. Ladies and gentlemen, Lightro Storm is here on the show today. How are you feeling today, Lightro?
Pretty good.
All right, so we have several questions, not all of them what ifs, but I still feel like we could get some good answers out of these questions so that your fans could get to know you, my fans could get to know you, and maybe some of your fans will come over and get to know me. All right, so let's just go ahead and hit it with the first one, make it nice and simple. Are you proud of the videos you make?
Yes, definitely. I understand. I used to get like a lot of like stuff for like having the Kind Master logo or whatever. I don't usually anymore, but like I think that I'm doing the best I can with what I have right now. Like obviously I don't have that good of a mic. I use just like earbuds with a mic. So and
Sometimes
then
it's the best
obviously
you can get.
the Kind Master. Yeah. I just do I'm pretty proud of it because I know that it's the best that I can manage for now. I've barely made any videos that I actually regret, and if I do regret them, then they probably aren't up. So,
Yeah, that's kind of the same with me. There are a few things that I do regret on the channel, but they were risks that I was like, I'm not experienced in this. Like the most recent 1,000 subscriber milestone video, I'm not experienced at all with song creation. That's why I had the background music commissioned, and I was like, okay, I can just put the vocals on top. But when I was actually going through all the editing, I was like, oh my god. I mean, I'm proud of a lot of my videos. I'm a bit embarrassed from some other ones, but all in all, I love the videos that I put on the channel because not only were some of them experimental, but others have just grown a following, and the kind of comments that I read uh, really, really helped me push to get that next project out.
yeah, I think like actually enjoying what you put out is like one of the most important things. Because if you don't, then you're just gonna be like a machine, and that'll burn you out quick.
Exactly. So that kind of goes into the next one. Are there any series or videos you regret?
Uh, yes. I originally had a channel in like 2016, and that was like 4 years ago. And I made like, oh my god, I made horrible videos. They were so bad. Uh, they're mostly about Minecraft, but I didn't even have a screen recorder, so I just set my laptop in front of the TV, and the
Oh,
quality is
you
so
know what?
bad.
I had a channel like that as well. Um,
Yeah,
I had a channel like that as well, which honestly, because of my recording quality, I know one of them because I'm double jointed in both of my pinkies and my thumbs. One of them, a few of my friends didn't believe that I played Guitar Hero with only three fingers as opposed to using the pinky. So I took black tape and wrapped it around my pinky, and that the video is me playing Reptilia on Guitar Hero 3 with the three fingers, and the black tape's holding my pinky.
that's great.
I don't regret it because those are old videos. I'm embarrassed by them now because I'm like, oh God, what was I thinking? Um, but as far as any videos I regret from this current channel, um, The only series that I kind of regret is Stev's Quest, where I was trying to do something interesting with the Bendy and the Ink Machine stories. I was ambushed in the middle of the night, and suddenly I wake up and I'm in the character of Henry. And every time Henry talks, I mimic Henry's voice at the exact same time. Like, I did not say that. Why did I say that just now? I did not control myself saying that. And it was supposed to be some sort of haunting metaphysical thing. It could have been done a bit better, but at the time I was so inexperienced that I look back at it and I'm like, what was I going for?
Yeah, all the videos that I've made are on this channel, and so even like the old ones. But I think one from like the more modern day me, which I mean, I consider myself starting YouTube in like January 2019 because that's when I actually started.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I made like some My Hero What Ifs that I get a lot of crap for from all my friends. Uh, because I did not know the series very well. I made one. It was What If Deku and Bakugo Were Friends, and that one was actually pretty decent, I think. But then I missed like an entire section of like the story.
Oh no.
Just moved past it because I like with Dragon Ball. Before I even like first watched a single episode, I like knew the story because like I just like read up on so many things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But this, like My Hero, it took me a lot longer to get it, and I don't actually plan on making any more of those. But there was another one I made where it was following the whole like, what if Deku had this? It was actually what if Deku had Tracer's powers, like from Overwatch,
Oh yeah.
and I did like, oh my, the video is like 7 minutes long, and 5 minutes of it is just me doing a calculation that was ultimately wrong in the end. And even if it wasn't wrong, it only gave a 5% boost to Deku. So it was like, ugh, I deleted
Eh.
both of those videos a couple days ago.
Yeah, along the same line, I kind of regret the most recent what if Majin Vegeta killed Boo that I did on my channel, because the way I explained it was Majin Vegeta's so evil that he got basically Trunks acted like a sleeper agent in a way. Trunks went to Earth with Goku so that Earth would be safe from Beerus and the God ritual can happen. But the way I wrote it is Trunks came back, told Majin Vegeta all of this, and Resurrection F is more like Redemption V, in which Vegeta invades Earth. He has to go against Goku and Gohan, who have God Ki. But the way I explained it was that I know Vegeta knows martial arts from training on Earth. He would pump it further. I gave him Mastered Super Saiyan God Rose because he's evil. I
Oh,
figured Rose would be the evil form of blue.
what?
And I'm going back to the series. I got several comments like, wait, so what does this mean? And so I have to go back and be like, when I go around to the next part of that, I'd be like, let me explain. So I kind of regret that last decision. Um, I was thinking God Key just worked kind of like regular Key. So, you have Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. I thought that was the basic idea of it. But apparently Super introduced Mastered Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. I was like, I fucked up.
It's so I don't even like I haven't read the manga, at least not a lot of it. But like I think it isn't even like mastered really. It's just stronger. I I don't even understand.
Yeah, I need to look into and understand it, because if Vegeta can get Mastered Super Saiyan Blue and Goku can pump Kaioken Blue, there's got to be other iterations more
Yeah.
clearly explained as far as how God Key is. I've got to look into that before I go into the next Majin Vegeta.
All right. So the next question from my fans is, what's the what if you are most proud of? I've made quite a few, and it's really hard to like pinpoint the series that I'm most proud of. But if I had to say a video I'm most proud of, it would definitely have to be What If Bulma Was a Z Fighter Part 3.
Okay.
It's super long, and I just recently had to like cut a part of it because it got like copyright claimed and it got taken down. So I had to cut like a tiny part of it. But after that, I rewatched it and I was like, dang, this is still the best video I've ever made.
Yeah,
And
I like that sentiment, like where you make a video and you realize how much work that went into the video. Like with the 1,000 subscriber milestone, a lot of work went into that video, um, in a little time because I had so many things going on in my life, and I mean I'm pretty sure everybody's got that going in 2020. The what if I'm most proud of, I can hands down say just outright, what if the dragons were swapped?
yeah,
Because so much is happening in that series. At the end of part one, I realized I messed up when writing part two because all the Earthlings ended up getting Kaioken. And I thought my fans were like, okay, he messed up. We're going to make him pay for it. Everybody's going to get Kaioken. We know how he thinks. That's how it's going to. But when I did the poll, you guys said yes with difficulty. So you understand how factual I want to be with the material, and thanks fans for that. Since then, it's been such an amazing series with Vegeta dead, Nappa wounded on Earth, Raditz and Krillin are the ones going into space to Namek to get the Dragon Balls first. I mean, it's all over the place. Even Piccolo doesn't exist in this timeline. Goku handled Raditz on his own. A lot of stuff has happened, and I'm able to explain each individual point, and that's what I like about that. That's why I'm most proud of what if the Dragons were swapped, because it's such a deviation from the main timeline.
I mean, it sounds pretty good. I haven't watched it, but like, uh, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, check it out, man. I mean, I that's the one I'm most proud of. Heading into the next one, what is the next Walking Dead what if? I don't have a Walking Dead what if, so Lightro, what is it?
Um, well, okay. I'll answer this in two different ways because I've already said that the next one is going to be what if Javier was in season one, part two. But in terms of series, I'm not actually sure. It might be. I'm thinking of a couple different ideas. I'm thinking of what if Sarah from season two survived. Oh, spoilers, by the way.
Mm,
Um, and maybe what if Jane survived as well? Because I already did what if Kenny survived. But
Kenny was my
in terms of
favorite
series,
character during the Telltale one.
bro, he is my favorite. Oh my
He's
god, I
so
love that
good. He's so good.
man. Yeah. But yeah, so it's either Jane or Sarah in terms of like new series. But I'm trying to stick to one Walking Dead series at a time. Maybe some one shots here and there, but like in terms of actual series, I'm just gonna continue the Javier one because I already have that one written out in season two as well.
What made you take this path on YouTube rather than being something like a gaming channel? Straight up, I was a gaming channel. But the problem with it is I wanted to play games that I wanted to share with people that may not have had a lot of a lot, kind of like Ross's game dungeon. If you look at the person that makes Freeman's Mind, he plays a lot of games that are kind of out of the way from the public view. I did a mix of that and a mix of games that I know people would be interested in seeing me play. And gaming channels on YouTube don't take off that. I mean, like you have channels like PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Game Grumps. You have Markiplier. You have all these different YouTube gaming channels. I think because of the algorithm, you're more than likely to get suggested to one of those higher gaming channels than any of the gaming channels trying to make it on YouTube. It's much harder to make it as a gaming channel. After I got to, I think it was 32 subscribers, I said, okay, this isn't taking off. Keep in mind, this was over the course of a year, only 32 subscribers. Um, this wasn't working, and so I decided to fall back. This was after the whole Bendy Stev's Quest thing. Um, I took a step back and I was like, what do I like? What do I want to do? And I was inspired by Masako X when he said the thing on what if Giro teamed up with Frieza, I think it was, to write stories. Because I remember I used to love writing stories in high school. And I decided to try my hand at what ifery. And sure enough, female Vegeta came out. And after that, it's just been, I'm already at 1,000 subscribers 1 year later. So that tells you how influential a brand new gaming channel is on YouTube versus something more creative like a what if channel. both ways I'm
Yeah.
doing what I like because it's what ifry in the realms of video gaming and Dragon Ball alike. I do have video game what ifs, but I do have Dragon Ball what ifs. And you see that gaming channels, it's much harder on YouTube to get a gaming channel up and off the ground if you are looking at it from a business perspective. If that's what you want to do, go for it. You know, nobody's stopping you from doing that. That's the point of YouTube. You can do your thing. But I wanted my YouTube channel to kind of stand out. I wanted to build this community. But I also wanted to build this community with doing stuff that I liked that I knew I could share with the community usefully. Like video gaming and Dragon Ball What Ifs. I was able to write stories, and these stories came from me personally, and people are watching them and liking them. So that's what made me take this path on YouTube rather than being something like a gaming channel or a music channel, which music channels do take off on the platform. When it comes down to gaming channels, I get better internet. I'll go with making a Twitch channel, or I'll go with launching my Twitch channel and game and chat with fans and stuff like that. But gaming, YouTube already has these leviathans that have already mastered the gaming scene. So starting a gaming channel on YouTube is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add? I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Oh no, that's fine. I I mean I already explained like my whole thing with the gaming stuff. What really just made me do what ifs for Dragon Ball is because I mean obviously I've been influenced by Moscow X, others like that.
Right.
Um, but also just because I do like writing stories, I do like narrative stuff like that. Most of the time with my what ifs because I focus on uh like it being a what if rather than it being a story. I don't really incorporate a lot of narrative, but sometimes I can, like with the Bulma what if or with the Namek what if,
Right.
stuff like that. But I just like writing, and it's really fun too most of the time. Uh, except for the editing, that's the worst part.
Editing is
That's the
always
one
the worst
thing.
part about being a YouTuber. It's always the
Yeah, that's
worst
the
part.
one thing. That's the one thing that makes me uh maybe want to shift to gaming,
I
but
think I think
I'm
the
not gonna do
hardest part of it is you're editing something that you know about because you just did it. Now, like if you got a job as an editor for someone else, you'd be like, "Okay, I haven't seen this before. This will be
it.
fun."
Right,
So like
right. But
j-
like
go on.
when it comes to editing, because like I don't know about you, but like when I'm recording, I mess up a lot. And so
Yes.
I think about, oh wow, I really messed up a lot of this. 5 minutes of this is probably just me stuttering, so I'm probably gonna have to sit through this whole thing until it's all gone.
Yeah, the first what if I released on this channel, what if female Vegeta, what if Vegeta was born female? That one ended up being half an hour because I had taken a break from the gaming part of things. I had reshifted my focus towards what ifs. I had a lot to say on that, and while the video itself is about half an hour long, I had an hour and 15 minutes of footage.
Oh my
So
god.
that would tell you and any fan out there, I had footage that was 1.5 or that was 2.5 times longer than what the video actually ended up being. So that tells you any YouTuber cutting their own stuff, we're not perfect. We're gonna make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are twice as long as the video. So editing our own stuff, it is horror because we know we screwed up in certain places. That's why I try to write a script whenever I do and stick to the script, but I never follow the script. I always end up ad libbing to my own detriment.
Yeah. I usually write scripts unless it's something that I can like really just like go off on.
Hmm.
But most of the time that isn't a what if unless it's like a short one shot or something.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so next question. Which what ifs will you be continuing soon? You can answer that one first.
Okay. I currently have in the works. What if the Skylanders were canon? The Spyro what if on my channel. I'm not gonna ruin too much, but the next part, the way I have the basic script is a Skylander is basically player 2 or an AI character that travels with Spyro through each of the elemental worlds, because at least Skylanders gave us that. There's a clear elemental system in place in the game. The first one, the air world, it was Jetvac. The second one, the life world, it was Stealth Elf. The third one is going to be the mech world. And the reason why I'm going mech world with the first generation of Skylanders, let me be clear, I'm limiting this to Spyro's adventure because Spyro is directly involved.
Yeah.
The third one, and this is going to be exciting when it comes out, Hunter is going to be a Skylander. The way I have him thought of is that he is a mech Skylander with a mechanical crossbow as his weapon, so that he's a ranged character, which I thought would be interesting. Like, okay, so characters from Spyro's world can be Skylanders. That would make a lot of sense. So that's one what if coming soon.
For me, the next one that's coming is it should be coming Saturday, if not Sunday. But what if Baba raised Goku Part 3?
Oh, yeah, I
I
saw the
haven't
picture
done
on
that
your
one.
community post on that one.
Yeah, it took me a while to get back into that one, but managed to write the script and have Spectrus record that. So that'll be up soon. After that, I'm gonna be doing What If Harry Became Spider-Man in the Raime trilogy.
Cool.
Yeah, that. I originally wanted to make each movie its own part, but then the recording for the first movie was like 30 minutes, so I'm probably gonna split it into one or two or three. Uh, and then after that, What If Goku Never Hit His Head Part 3, just going into the Saiyan saga. And
Interesting.
then uh, the last one that's recent is What If Javier Was in Season 1 Part 2. I already said I'm gonna continue that one. So yeah.
Alrighty, we'll look forward to that, and head on over to Lightro Storm's channel and subscribe if you're interested in any of those kinds of what ifs. Also, if you're here from Lightro Storm's channel, thank you very much for coming on over to the StevDeS channel. So let's continue on with this. What are the worst what if ideas? What if Nappa turned good? I've
Yeah.
made I've made that clear in previous StevDeScussions. I will never do a Nappa what if. I will say that over on my Discord there is a Dragon Ball D&D thing that people are refining. I have my own way of DMing. And other people on the server also has their own way of DMing for Dragon Ball D&D. Basically, what happens is if it's a Dragon Ball D&D, which we haven't done with multiple people, we're trying to refine one-on-one DM player relations before we expand to multiple people. Is the one person picks a character and the DM makes a story around that character based on what that person wants that character to do. And I actually had an entertaining Nappa one. Oh my god, StevDeS is saying about Nappa, a what if situation in which Nappa's good. He's gonna do one. No, I'm not. The Nappa what if had involved him rolling a 1 and losing to Piccolo. That's what's fun about the D&D. When you roll a 1 or 20, insane shit can happen. Um, I rolled a 1, I lost to Piccolo, and then Nappa ended up being wounded in the forest, losing who he was, coming across Goku's house, and started kind of being along with Goku. Basically, Nappa went to Earth first instead of Raditz. So, I mean, if you're interested in that, go ahead and comment below. I mean, it was a good story. It really was a good story. But the worst what if ideas, in my opinion, Nappa turning good. There are a couple of YouTubers that make it good, but every other one I just don't see right. Kaizen Ball and Masako made that work. I don't see Nappa turning good in any other sense because it's all the same thing. Nappa gets betrayed by Vegeta, turns good because someone saves him, and he's good. He's there now. Not much different.
Yeah. That's actually kind of what's happening with the Tarble series as well. But I like that it isn't like the core of the story. Like, because I like when changes happen
Mm-hmm.
because of the initial change, not because they are the initial change.
Right. So, like, their influence ends up changing the timeline. Like, you had him get with Ranfan, which,
Yeah.
when I first saw the series and, when I voice acted Tarble, I was like, oh my god, so my character is married to Ranfan, he's got a kid? Whoa, this is good. Like, Gohan has a kid to grow up with. This is good. This is legit entertainment here. Speaking of which, when's part 3, man? I want to voice act on that one.
After we get the Baba series done, we're going back to Tarble. So,
Oh, there we go. So I'm sure you guys will hear my voice over there when he gets around to it.
what are your favorite video game characters? It would definitely have to be. A lot of them would definitely have to be from The Walking Dead, like Kenny, Clementine, Lee, AJ. Love them. They're all great. Uh, Besides them though, because I can name off like so many characters I like from them. Probably I really like Joel from The Last of Us. Not so much in the second game. Uh,
Yeah,
but
he got a bit shafted in that second game.
one game I've played that's like it's similar to The Last of Us. I don't know if you've played it or not, but it's called Days Gone. It's so good. I love that game so much. Definitely Deacon and Boozer, excellent characters. Love them. They're great. Other than like, because I've just named off zombie games. Other than that, I would say certain ones, but they're not technically games. They're just game adaptations of like other characters, like Spider-Man and Batman and stuff like that. But I mean, if you want to count them, sure. But you can answer that as well now.
Okay, so one of my favorite video game characters, well, Yoshi. I was a Nintendo kid growing up. Friggin' love Yoshi. I love Fox McCloud. I guess instead from the Donkey Kong universe, I love King K. Rool because he's just a good villain. He to the point that in Donkey Kong 64, he's almost beat everybody. Diddy Kong was captured, Tiny Kong, Lanky Kong, and Chunky Kong, which those were introduced in that. But he almost did it several times. So he's a good villain. I like King K. Rool. As far as because you brought up zombie games, I loved Chuck Green for a while from Dead Rising 2. He was a good character. But quickly that was taken over when I first played Dead Rising 1, years after I played Dead Rising 2. I love Frank West. Frank West is an extremely good character. He's cocky. He's a photojournalist that gets to the facts. I don't like what they did with him in Dead Rising 4. I don't think anybody likes what they did with him in Dead Rising 4. As far as other zombie games I've played, Left 4 Dead, I loved Bill. I love the fact that Bill gave his life for everybody else. That just shows what a good character he was. As far as The Walking Dead, like you said, Kenny's a great character. I actually, in season 1, I liked Lily a lot because she had,
I did too.
she had her dad. I wanted Lily to initially. This made me and Kenny kind of not on good terms because I kept trying to take Lily's side in some of the arguments, but I would also give Kenny his every now and then.
Yeah.
But when it came down to killing Lily's dad, I tried to bring him back to life and Kenny murdered him. So that was
Yeah.
the big rift between him and Lee. And while on the topic, Lee and Clementine, those are really fleshed out characters. So as far as my favorite video game characters, Yoshi's at the top. Yoshi and Fox McCloud are on the top because I was a Nintendo kid.
Since I had like my PS4 account made when I was like really young,
Right?
uh, I ended up getting my account named Yoshi 3002.
Oh
I
yeah?
don't know why. I just liked Yoshi, and then I don't know why 3002. It just happened. Um, so yeah, that's fun fact, I guess.
What are your favorite anime? I guess that's a plural question.
Uh,
I'll just go ahead and answer because my list is small. I'm not much of an anime fan, but case closed, Dragon Ball, Full Metal Alchemist. I liked Bleach and Naruto for a little while, but I fell out of those. And I liked. My fans are gonna give me shit, especially the anime weeb fans are gonna give me shit for this one. But I loved Boba Bobo Boba Bo because it was just so stupid. I know it was just making fun of all anime at the time, but it was that special variety of random that I absolutely loved.
a lot of people tend to associate me with anime because of like Dragon Ball, but I'm actually not that big of an anime fan. I like certain ones. Obviously Dragon Ball. Um, Definitely up there.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched Cowboy Bebop, which I thought was a great show. Like it
It
was like,
was good. I would put that on my list, but it's not one of my favorite anime. It's
yeah. I just like the narrative behind it. I love all the characters too, especially in dub. Like I tried watching it in sub, but I don't know, the dub won me over.
mm.
Other than that, I watched a good bit of Hunter x Hunter and loved basically every episode, but I never got to finish it, and I'm gonna have to rewatch it eventually. I thought My Hero was good, but I fell out of it because I kept on like waiting for every season because I don't really read manga too much. I read Dragon Ball, but that was only after I watched the original series. Because I was waiting for like every season to come out, I like kind of like forgot everything and had to rewatch it multiple times. And I really don't want to rewatch it again. But I do like it. I will admit it is good.
Yep.
Uh,
Fun
but
fact:
other than that,
oh,
that's
go
about
on,
it.
go on, go on. Finish your point. Finish your point.
I was saying other than that, that's about it.
Okay. Fun fact: The Legend of Zelda actually has a manga adaptation.
That does not surprise me.
So the next one says, "What are your favorite Dragon Ball characters?" Yamcha and Piccolo.
That's it.
Well, I mean, you could say Goku, Vegeta. I mean, I have a great respect for a lot of them, but I love Yamcha because of how far back he went and how influential he was early on in Dragon Ball's history.
Yeah.
He's just also kind of the goofy side character, especially when Beerus is dressed up as Monaka. that and
Yeah.
He almost lets spill the beans. Everybody's friggin' mad at him, but thank God Goku's an idiot in Super. Um,
Yeah.
so there was that, and Piccolo because he's a strong character. You went from the ultimate evil on planet Earth to I love Gohan's family and I'll be the babysitter anytime. There's a
Yeah.
clear growth with Piccolo and how he kind of attached himself to Gohan and his family. He's a very well done character. Now I could have said Vegeta. Vegeta is a fan favorite, but I think that speaks for itself. He's not one of my favorites, but he is one of the best characters. Same thing with Goku. He's not my favorite, but he is one of the best characters. Not in Super as much. I find Super's
No.
Goku a little bit annoying. He's one of the main characters, so he would be on a lot of people's favorites list. Me, I like the characters that show more character. Piccolo and Yamcha.
For me, it's kind of easy to say favorite character. Goku's definitely my favorite.
There you
And then
go.
like Yamcha,
Prove
Tenshinhan.
my point there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love Goku. Uh, Yamcha, Tenshinhan, Piccolo, Vegeta. I like pretty much all the characters. Except for like certain ones. But like in terms of best, because it's really hard to judge like best character over a like super long series like Dragon Ball. Like Dragon Ball has had so many ups, so many downs. It's
Right.
just like I would say Ten Shinhan's one of the best written characters, but then Z makes him the Tri-Beam guy, and Super just makes him fodder and never win a fight. Um, like Piccolo was great
Toriyama really
till
needed to do
the
something
Buu
with Tien.
Saga. Yeah, like it's so hard to just say that. That's one of the things that pains me so much because I love Dragon Ball so much, but it's like in terms of character writing, it has its clear ups and its clear failures.
Right. It's
It,
one of the suggestions I had in a previous Dev discussion is what if Goku got with Suno? And I'm like, well,
uh,
here's the thing: Goku never really saw Suno after the whole Muscle Tower incident,
yeah,
so there's no
she
way
showed up
that
in the
what
Buu
if would
Saga,
happen. Yeah, yeah.
he didn't even.
So does Bora and Upa. You don't see those guys very often.
Yeah,
It's like the Boo saga. They wanted to end off on, hey, remember all these characters? There you go.
there you go.
There you go.
They exist.
They exist. They exist. They're helping in the end. Yay! Dragon Ball wasn't useless. Moving on.
the monster characters from like Baba's Palace are just like in random cities giving their energies.
Yeah,
Like,
that was an
why are
interesting.
they in a city?
For this next one, Litro's going to take the floor because I am not in any way a comic book fan, except for some DC. Like, I like Batman, I like the Avengers, Iron Man. I like them, but I don't know a lot of comic lore.
Yeah. I don't really like comics too much either. I'm more of a movie video game guy. But like luckily there's enough superhero influence in those genres. So but in terms of this is actually a question from Tyler. What are your top five Raimi Spider-Man moments? Uh I don't necessarily have a top five per se. Uh but favorite moments would be Harry saving Peter at the end of Spider-Man 3. Um his death as well. Um, in the first one, it would be Peter at the end, like telling MJ that they can never be because he is Spider-Man. Well, I mean, not he doesn't say because he's Spider-Man, but that's why. And then in the second one, it would have to be the chocolate cake scene where the one chick offers him a chocolate cake and just shows him that
Oh yeah,
humanity
I
is
remember that one.
still a thing. Yeah. High Top Films makes a lot of good video essays on that.
Hmm.
Well, not just that scene, but like Spider-Man in general. And then I guess as the last one, it would be Doc Ock at the end of Spider-Man 2 sacrificing himself. You know, I will not
That
die
was
a
a
monster.
good scene. That was a
Yeah,
very
Peter.
well done scene.
I like that it wasn't even really a fight. Like they hit each other a couple times, and then Peter was like, he used all of his like lessons uh, that he had been taught not only by Aunt May but also by Otto, and he used that to end up saving him.
Yeah.
And
So like, okay, I don't have five, but we're talking about the Spider-Man movies. I agree with you. The Doc Ock scene is there. The other two scenes I would put is when in the first Spider-Man movie when Green Goblin and Spider-Man are having that chat before the fight.
oh yeah,
That was a good scene. That was very well put together, and it's a believable scene based on what you know from the movie so far. And the other favorite scene I would have from the Spider-Man 1 movie would be when he was having the mental breakdown staring at the mask in the at the fireplace. That scene.
yeah.
When he's really deciding to become Green Goblin. And
Mhm.
and also I noticed you mentioned Tyler. Tyler, and if you're out there, you're not next, but you're coming up for a StevDeS discussion, buddy. You better have some questions ready for your fans. I'm calling you
Um,
out, boy.
one other scene that I really like from movies, it isn't necessarily like, I mean, I guess it is favorite, but it isn't like super huge or anything. But I love the like in Spider-Man 3 when he's trying to sleep and then he's getting like taken over by the symbiote and then it just all black and the music stops and then it's
Mm.
just where am I? And then da dun and da dun dun like oh my god, that goes so hard. I love that so much.
It
That's so good. I love that.
was good. So now for the show you've all been waiting for. The what ifs suggested by you, the fans, for Mr. Lightro Storm. Starting out with what if Goku was born with 1 million power? God fucking damn it.
I just went for the ones that were obvious.
1 million?
I don't know. These are ones I've been suggested.
Okay. So,
Let me just look at rid of them here.
considering how overpowered he is, I think Frieza would not have destroyed the planet sooner. I don't think Frieza would have access to the information. But Goku would be in the same pod area as Broly, and I think that would be an interesting start to. I don't know who did this what if. I know it's on YouTube somewhere, but what if Goku was sent to Vampa? That would be the only reason I would see Goku be sent to Vampa if he had a power level of 1 million.
I think Bardock might go after him though.
Yeah,
Or
I
like
think Bardock would be,
Yine.
and yeah, Bardock would probably be involved. I think Bardock and Yine would go after him, and because they would have a fresher ship, they would probably meet with Paragus. They would be one big Saiyan family, and when they return to Namek, it's already or not Namek. When they return to, I keep thinking of what if Broly went to Namek. That's on my channel. Um, when they return to where Planet Vegeta once was, they realize that Planet Vegeta's gone, and the babies are still babies. So where the hell do they live? So it's up to the author at that point. Or do they go back to Vampa? Do they find some other barren planet to live with their extremely powerful Saiyan babies? And what would that mean for the future of the Frieza forces? Because they wouldn't go to Earth. Earth would probably be taken over by either King Piccolo or Pilaf, and suggestions like that just kind of get Goku out of the scenario altogether.
So for the next what if suggestion that I've gotten is what if the Z Fighters learn the Kaioken? This is a classic one that multiple people have done, but still gets suggested.
What if the dragons were swapped?
But I mean, I think it's kind of obvious what happens for the most part. Nothing would really change too much. The only thing I think would change, which would make an actually big change, would be Tenshinhan would definitely be able to kill Cell with the Neo Tri-Beam. Because there's no way.
Ooh.
Like, he was already, like, dealing damage to him. If he's, like, multiple times stronger, yeah, no.
Okay,
He's
so
dead.
focusing on that, I wanna just go ahead and plug the very first StevDeScussions with Kaizen Ball. We actually got this question, I do believe, and we do go into detail about how fans like they were, well, what if they got Kaioken? Well, what if they got Ultra Instinct? Or what they got Ultimate? Like there's always those transformations that fans are like, well, what if this happened? Like they want to see this. Um, we didn't bring up Tien versus Cell at all. So you bringing that up, I'm thinking, okay, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Tien was doing damage to semi-perfect Cell. Would he end up killing himself in the middle of it because the Tri-Beam's taking his life force and the Kaioken is doing damage to his body?
Maybe, but I don't see it because his base form would also be stronger, like by a decent bit because he's using the Kaioken in his training. Uh,
True.
so he might be able to survive that. And even if he doesn't, then the threat is now defeated, so they can just bring him back. So it doesn't really
Yeah, they can get Dragon
ultimately
Balls
change
from
the game.
Namek. I get that too. Also, would I understand that he was doing damage to Cell, but we've seen a lot of the stuff that Cell has survived, having the top half of him blown off, having most of one side blown off by Vegeta, the Kaioken that got, or not the Kaioken, the Kamehameha that got thrown back at him by Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. He's survived a good chunk of stuff. Would semi-perfect Cell's nucleus actually be killed by Tien? That's kind of a big plot hole there. Would Tien be strong enough to actually kill the nucleus?
I definitely think so, because if you look at Tenshinhan by that point, like a lot of people like downplay, like, oh yeah, he's still in the 100,000s. No, his power level's way higher than that by that point. Even if he is that, then Goku said at 90,000 that he could use times 10. So if you have the Neo Tri-Beam, which is already damaging Cell, and then a 10 times amp, it like possibly even more if you don't downplay, like could be looking like I definitely think that Cell would die because like he survived stuff, but nothing that was like many times stronger than himself.
Hmm. Okay,
Like
so
maybe a couple times, but not like 10 plus times.
starting from that point, Super Saiyan 2 would not be discovered until much later. Would it be discovered before the Majin Buu saga?
Uh, I definitely think so because I definitely think Goku and Gohan would still train uh in the time chamber. They might like cut their training even shorter, but with that, I, Goku and Vegeta would definitely be able to discover Super Saiyan 2 within 7 years. Uh,
Definitely. And I think Gohan would also be there for the training because I mean, Gohan had it in his head. The whole point of him training with his dad is to make his dad strong enough to protect the Earth. So I think Gohan would still train just for that end.
yeah,
He would focus on his studies. He would focus on being on school, but every so often I could see, hey, son, you want to train a bit? Yeah, sure, okay. It's more of a, okay, I'm gonna hang out with my dad then.
yeah. Um, Other things that would change, they'd definitely be weaker in the Buu saga. Especially Goku, because no otherworld training, no Super Saiyan 3. Um,
Dabura would kill
Gohan would
Gohan.
obviously be weaker. yeah, Deborah would definitely kill Gohan. Goku would definitely kill Deborah after that because, like, I mean, he kind of has to get Piccolo and Krillin undone, like unstoned.
Yeah.
But then after that, Goku versus Majin Vegeta. I doubt that would happen because of the whole 7 year Goku's alive. They can fight.
Yeah, so Vegeta would have moved past that by then.
Yeah,
You're more likely to have a Majin Piccolo than. Well, I mean, hell, you probably wouldn't. After Gohan is killed, there's a good chance for that to happen. But even then, you have Kami's soul inside Piccolo, so a Majin Piccolo would be more hopeful than factual.
yeah. And then either way, Piccolo by that point was pretty weak, which is sad. Like, because it's stated that the Supreme Kai is equal to like grade 4 Goku in the Cell games, and then Piccolo is stated to step down because he's weaker. So
Yeah.
by that point, everyone's so much stronger and Piccolo's weaker. So I don't see Boo getting summoned,
Yeah.
which means everyone is once again just weaker going forward.
Yeah, and then Super introduces God Key, and we're back to square one with Goku and Vegeta being the main people. I'm sure they would know Super Saiyan 2, possibly Super Saiyan 3, because Goku likes pushing shit.
Mhm.
And by the time Super comes around, Super Saiyan 3 would have been a new thing. The only major change I would see is that the roster for the Universe 6 tournament wouldn't be Majin Buu because there's no Majin Buu. It would
Yeah,
probably have Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Gohan.
and if not Gohan, then probably Ten Shinhan.
Totally Ten Shinhan.
But I
Yep.
mean, we know his track record in Super.
Yeah, we can't not have Manaka though. Can't not have Manaka. So the next one on the list we have here is what if Gohan and Krillin died on Namek? When?
Uh, Raccoon, I'm pretty sure. Like when he breaks
Oh,
their neck.
so Raccoon kills Gohan and Krillin. See, I would start that if Gohan and Krillin died on Namek. I would have that be
With Frieza.
yeah with Frieza, and Goku gets even bigger of a rage, summoning a more powerful Super Saiyan form. But I think yours has way more potential for the story.
I think Goku would still beat all the Ginyu Force. That doesn't change. Then when it comes down to, uh, he gives Vegeta a Senzu still, and then the Ginyu fight would still go the same, I think, because Vegeta's still there to help. Which would mean that after Goku goes into like the chamber or whatever to heal, Vegeta would be the only one left, and he isn't really a Z fighter yet, so he would definitely get the Dragon Balls. Uh, but I don't think Dende would help him use it. He would probably want to wait till Goku shows up, which would
Would
then mean that Piccolo doesn't get to come back.
Yeah. So there is this is why I need to get the soundboard on Steam and make a soundboard, because this would be like where I would play the Price is Right game or do 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 do, because
Oh yeah,
this would be a dead scenario uh, at this point. But luckily I have Schmidt in editing. Schmidt, play it. There it is. There it is. Dead scenario.
yeah. So Vegeta's definitely gonna die to Frieza.
And then
And even
Frieza.
if he holds out, Goku will have nothing to use against Frieza.
Yeah.
So gonna die too.
You would, and so there's two ways to go about this story. One, Goku seeing Krillin's corpse, he turns Super Saiyan, eliminates the Ginyu Force, and kills Frieza outright. Two, the way that you just described, where Frieza's gonna find Goku and finish the fucking job. So no more Saiyans, no Piccolo means no more Dragon Balls. Gero rules the Earth.
Until Babidi shows up, if he shows up.
If he shows up, even then, I don't think Boo would have enough power. Because one, you would not only have Cell to worry about, because Cell would be able to hunt the androids all together. Like Jiro would rule the Earth, and then Cell would come along and fuck everything up. And
Mhm.
after having all the fun he wanted on Earth, Earth would be blown up, and that means Majin Buu would also be blown up.
Basically, Beerus would never come to Earth because it'd be destroyed
He'd never
or
wake
a
up.
wasteland. Oh yeah,
He'd never wake up. The only reason he woke up is because the soothsayer said, "Hey, there's Saiyans here," and they Super Saiyan, the Super Saiyan God. Beerus would never wake
So
up to
that
that.
means, yeah, that means there's no Universe 6 tournament, no Beerus Saga, and if there's no Universe 6 tournament, Goku never meets Zeno, and he can't meet Zeno either way.
And
So
since there's
no tournament
no,
of power,
yeah,
everyone gets erased.
there's no Earth, meaning there's no time machine. Unless Bulma made a time machine, that would be a MacGuffin to continue the story. But let's say that Bulma didn't make the time machine at this point, and if we're talking future saga, and Earth is gone, so there's no Universe 6 tournament, like you said. There's also no Goku Black Arc, because Zamasu stays good. This is, like, Schmidt, play it one more time. Dun, 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 dun. Yep, we're done.
That scenario. Alright, so the next what if suggestion is what if Super Saiyan 4 was canon? This one is pretty easy to answer because they never get put into a scenario where Super Saiyan 4 can exist, so it being canon would change nothing
Yeah,
because it
so
never exists.
in the sense, because this is a yes/no question, in the sense of yes, it's not been discovered yet. In the sense of
Yeah.
no, well, that doesn't matter because Super kind of overwrote that.
Yeah, you would have to do what if GT was canon, but then if you do that, then it's completely different.
Masako did it first.
Yeah,
I do like Raditz as a kid though from that one. That is hilarious. Raditz and Goku become kids.
I like the design.
Yeah, same.
Didn't really like the scenario though,
Yeah,
but
it's
the
iffy, but
design.
then again, who really likes GT's scenario?
I'm watching GT currently, so I
Oh
can like
no.
make GT what ifs and like continue some what ifs into GT instead of Super.
I gotta finish Super. I'm still on the copy Vegeta Saga because I haven't had time to just sit down with some popcorn and friggin' enjoy it. Which, you know what, I might do that. Members of the Stev Discord, if you want because we have the movie theater here on the Stev Discord, if you want to watch Super with me, that could be a fun thing. Like us watching Super and being like, okay, we're making him do it. He's finally doing it. So,
I've only watched a couple episodes of Super.
oh man, it's okay. So you can skip a good chunk if you've seen Resurrection F and Battle of Gods.
I
Um,
haven't.
because not a lot really changes. The only thing that changes is that you find out that Ginyu took the body of the other person beside Frieza's side, not Shisame, the other
Yeah,
person. So that is Ginyu, but he's taken care of relatively quickly by Vegeta. Same thing. Um,
yeah. The only other thing would be like Beerus is way stronger
yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, he
because
would
there's
have
no
had time.
separatism.
He would have had time with the Saiyans. A lot of fans do like to say that GT happens after Super.
It,
It,
canonically, it does not. GT does not exist.
yeah, yeah. Because if that was the case, God Key would have been a thing. But because it's clearly not canon, that's a yes and no question. Hope that answers your question perfectly fine. So,
Someone's gonna be mad.
yep. So, moving on to what if Vegeta trained as a child? He did.
I think they mean like more like improve their key.
Oh, so you mean instead of training exercises, he was
Yeah, like
he was
actual
like grown up
Goku type
Vegeta and doing
training.
nonstop training.
Yeah,
Frieza would kill him outright. I hate to
most
be that
likely.
negative guy. I think Frieza would kill him outright because Frieza understands the Legend of the Super Saiyan, and instead of doing enough jobs for Frieza, I think Frieza would actually off him.
If he has like a better way to improve, because I think one of the reasons Frieza kept them alive was because they didn't really train just like he did. They kind of um, they just went out on missions and then they grew in power as they fought, or like got healed and grew in power. So they didn't really like come back home and like, all right, cool, time to train. No, they go out and then if the opponent is strong enough, which most of the time they probably even weren't, then they would grow. And even when they grow, they don't grow that much. So it's like if they were growing rapidly with actual training, then probably would not go so well for them.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see from both sides, like where if Vegeta wasn't on a job, he would be training. Instead of just working and waiting for his opportunity, he would be like, "No, I want Super Saiyan now. That's a legend, and I want to be that legend now." I could see that. As far as my timeline where I think Frieza would kill him outright, I think with Nappa taking over the Saiyan unit, uh, this would be another scenario like when in What If the Dragons Were Swapped, where Raditz and Nappa both go to Earth to go get Kakarot, and they end up surviving. Because, and this is where it separates from my What If, because with Nappa and Raditz there, both of the Saiyans would probably kill everyone. Because
Yeah.
Raditz didn't have the initial landing by himself. If he had the initial landing by himself and then Nappa went, then okay. But I think Nappa would want to go with Raditz, considering the Saiyan unit is now only 2 people. And
But
since Frieza
does
killed, since
Raditz is
Frieza killed
evil.
Vegeta, it's kind of a stressful situation.
Alright, so the next one is kind of like a bit wacky, but it's what if Bardock absorbed the supernova?
The supernova.
Yeah, from like Frieza.
Oh, from Frieza destroying the planet.
Yeah, so it's kind of like have you seen Super 13, the movie?
I haven't. I've seen the abridged version, but
Yeah, Goku like absorbs the blast and becomes Spirit Bomb Super Saiyan or something.
yeah.
I
So
guess
pretty
that's what
much
this would be.
following that logic, whereas Bardock is able to take in the power of the planet exploding.
Yeah, so he would basically he would basically just be adding that power to himself. So then you have to think about how much power did Frieza put into the attack.
Yeah, because he would be absorbing the Death Ball along with that, though.
Mhm.
So, okay, considering the kind of power that the Spirit Bomb was showing off in the Super 13 movie, glaciers were completely destroyed. Water was evaporating all around the ball. It was strong enough to take out Super 13. Um, we're talking about a power level of over Super Saiyan. So would Bardock get Super Saiyan from a power like that?
I don't think so because uh, a free or no, okay, a Toriyama has already stated that you need a like good power, like a strong level of power, if you want to become a Super Saiyan. So you could assume like a million plus. And this Bardock, even if Frieza put all of his like energy into the attack, Bardock's like what, like 10k plus 530k?
Right.
That's like not even 600,000.
Yeah, it's not. Um, so if Bardock had that power, well, the planet would be destroyed. I would think that it all depends. Bardock would get that power, but would he still survive the Death Ball? I really don't think so.
The supernova is the attack Frieza used, like to destroy the planet. Because the
Oh,
Death Ball is like purple, and then the supernova is like yellowy.
okay. Now I'm getting it. I thought you were talking about like the planet's explosion, that power.
Ah, yeah, no.
Okay. So I don't think he
So
can, but for the sake of
yeah,
argument, if he did, I don't think he would be over Frieza's power level in the slightest. Like that's just a fraction of what Frieza can do.
yeah, because you would. Frieza said that he like destroyed it with one finger, implying that he was like not using his full power. So, but even if he was using his full like first form power, Bardock wouldn't even be 600,000, so Frieza could just transform and then smack him with the second form
Yep.
until he dies, and
Yep.
then blow up the planet.
All right, Schmidt. Yep. It is. Yep. It's a dead scenario. Oh man, it's okay, Schmidt. You'll get paid after this. Um, so on to the last question we have for this discussion is: what if Future Trunks killed Cell? Has that been done on YouTube yet? I,
Maybe I'm pretty sure this is talking about like when Cell like steals the time machine. If like Trunks was on guard and killed him.
So going back in time to get that congratulations from Dad for killing the androids. I could see that. Like, okay, he killed Cell, then Cell wouldn't appear in the
So
present. So we have to
the
work on the
android,
future timeline as far as that's concerned.
yeah, because then like the androids in the main timeline uh would just be beaten by like grade 2 Vegeta and Trunks.
Okay, so future Trunks would still be around, and as far as the future timeline is concerned, Goku Black would still happen, all the same.
Yeah.
Um, then you have the present timeline, where the whole reason Trunks was able to defeat the androids was because he went to the past. All that stuff I think would still happen. Um,
Mhm.
in which he would go back, tell everyone, "Hey, I killed the androids in my time." He killed Cell. Before that iteration of Trunks killed Cell, meaning our future timeline is now that iteration of Trunks. Um,
Yes.
he would the future timeline would then have to be like, okay, so you killed this weird bug man. Where is it? And Trunks would be like, I don't know. It just kind of appeared out of nowhere and tried to take my time machine. I was wondering if you guys saw anything like that. And they would not know because the present timeline is the cell's still an embryo. They wouldn't have destroyed Jiro's lab because the androids that they were fighting weren't the real androids. And then when the real androids showed up, Jiro's lab wouldn't be completely destroyed. The sub lab would still exist, and the androids would be the main threat, and nobody would have gotten a look at Cell at that point. They would keep their eyes peeled. Trunks would go back to his time, and the next time we see Cell is, well, I want to say during the whole Beerus fight, and Cell wouldn't have gotten God Key, but he would have been around killing people, and at that point, I think everybody would have been more than powerful enough to handle him when he
Yeah.
did show. Possibly Cell could
Just
become good, but I that would be a bit of a stretch in logic, I think.
yeah.
Plus, Moscow already did that. We have an Android 21 that's not the 21 from Fighter Z, so
Thank God. Anything's better than that.
I I didn't think she was a badly written character. I just think that fighting games in general have badly written stories.
The standard should definitely be raised.
Yeah, yeah. So, uh,
Otherwise, you'll get the Mortal Kombat 11s.
oh Lord, that game did not have to exist. But I'll tell you what did have to exist. This StevDeScussion with Lightro Storm. So Lightro, I want to thank you for coming onto the show, sharing a few personal questions as far as the fans are concerned, favorite anime, favorite all that good stuff, as well as some what ifs. Really changed up the format a little bit. So I want to thank Lightro Storm for coming on by. I want to thank Lightro Storm's fans for submitting the questions for us to StevDeScuss. If you have anything to show, Lightro, let's hear it.
Well, I mean, if you're here by this point, then you maybe have probably already subscribed to StevDeS, and if you haven't and you're coming from my channel, then definitely do so. You make some pretty cool content. I haven't seen a lot of it, but I've seen a good portion to know that it is good, and you should definitely subscribe. Uh,
Like,
Other
what
than
if of
that,
mine would you suggest that they check out?
uh, hmm, probably the one that I started with was What If Jace Turned Good, and I think that was the one I commented on.
That is the one you
Okay.
commented on. I think that's the one that got me the Tarble voice for your video for your what ifs. And if you haven't checked out Lightro Storm, go check him out. I highly recommend the Tarble one. It's my favorite what if that he's done. Not because I'm voice acting in it. Let's throw that bias out the window, people. But it's a legitimately entertaining story, and I like the way that it came about. Not only because I voice acted it, but because of Tarble's motivation. So it definitely having a more level-headed Saiyan alongside Goku definitely added in that story. So go check that out. Check out the one Lightro Storm suggested. What if Jace turned good? It's all the way up to part I think 5 and 6. 6 is around the corner, people. I do have a clear view as to what I want to do with the next part of that, which is the Resurrection F thing. Um, is there anything else you'd like to show before we get on out of here?
No, not really.
All right, so stay tuned to future StevDeScussions. Thank you again, Lightro Storm, for coming on the show. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. You say ciao.
Oh, ciao.
Ciao.